Just the right amount of yogurt on there. It's creamy. You got the roasty bits on there. Cheers, you guys. What people tend to forget is what complements the barbecue they're cooking. It's hot, it's the summer, so we're working on cold sides today. This is a side I came up with, the smoke roasted, curried cauliflower, apple, something. I'm gonna need your help with the actual name of this, but let's get into cooking because this is something you're absolutely gonna love. So even though we're talking about a cold side today, that doesn't mean this smoker gets a day off, doesn't get a rest. We're still gonna get some smoky, roasty flavor on this. And the way that we start on that is we gotta cut it into smaller pieces. We gotta increase that surface area. So we're using a purple cauliflower today, and the only reason is because it's fun. We eat with our eyes. Color purple is going to get deeper and richer. It's going to be a perfect contrast to the Greek yogurt dressing that we're going to mix up here in a little bit. It just tastes the same as white cauliflower, at least it does to me. You know, my grocery store had yellow cauliflower, it had broccoli flower, which looks like a cross between broccoli and cauliflower, and then the purple. My kids love it, I love it. It's fun. So go for that when you have the opportunity, but white cauliflower works just the same. So we're going to get these stems off, all this extra stuff. You know, peel off the obvious, easy stuff first. Tricks here, my handy dandy, just regular old chef's knife. I've got scars on my thumbs from getting impatient with this, so now I just gently put it in there, give it a whack. No blood, no scars, no stitches. Now we're cooking. So do the same thing here, put it right through the middle of the stem right there, gently, give it a little whack, and push it on through. So doing that, getting quarters just gets us started to breaking up those smaller florets. And so just crack that off, get those leaves off of there. We'll get that done on all these pieces right here. The easier we can make this process, the more you can make, depending on how big your party is. So that'll go in the compost right there. And the next step, I like to just use my hands to get these florets down to the size that we need. When I'm thinking about what size do I want these, you know, this is going to be a salad that you're eating with a fork. It's going to be a mixture of, you know, the florets, the apples, and everything like that. So of course you could just leave it like that, but that's just going to be kind of awkward to eat, and you're not going to serve as many people. And I personally like it to cook faster to get more char, more smoke, more flavor. And so I break it up in these little tiny florets. I don't like waste. I'm going to save these stems, put those to the side right now, the bigger stems, and I'm going to just cut those into smaller pieces and mix that in because it's just going to, still has great flavor, great texture. We'll go ahead and get this head of cauliflower all broken up. I'm just kind of tearing it apart, kind of just squeezing it in my fingers. You know, you're gonna have some really tiny pieces, you're gonna have some medium pieces, and that's what we want. We want that mixture of sizes because these little bitty tiny pieces, they're gonna of course get pretty crunchy and, you know, develop a lot of flavor. But that's gonna go really great with these bigger pieces that are gonna keep more of their texture, more of their cauliflower flavor, and so cauliflower is gonna season itself with itself. So we've got a cauliflower all chopped up. I still like to go in with my hands and just kind of feeling for bigger pieces and just kind of squeezing and breaking up the bigger florets just to try to get a little bit more of a uniform size, just so it's a great eating experience, easy to scoop, easy to serve. Yeah, we're making this for our friends and our family, and oops, some might fly out, not want to be in the bowl, but that's okay. But there we go, that seems pretty uniform right there. And so now before this goes on the smoker, it needs some flavor. First, we're gonna add some salt and pepper. This is the dry rub we use here at the restaurant, coarse black pepper and some salt. Not using all that, just using, you know, about a tablespoon or so. I like to just cover the top. It's about a tablespoon. You know, the more you practice, the more you're gonna get a feel for it. And so we're going to go ahead and toss that up. I never worked at a chicken wing place or anything like that, so my tossing technique may not be Olympic level like some people, I know. So we got salt and pepper all nicely distributed on there. We're a barbecue restaurant, so we have beef tallow coming out of our ears, I mean, everywhere. And so we're gonna use some beef tallow to season this as well. If you don't have that, some vegetable oil, I love avocado oil, is great on this as well. Just something to add a little bit of fat and help it crisp up in the oven a little bit as well. So this is gonna be about, you know, 3 or 4 tablespoons right here. But just so you want a nice even coating. Oh, a little piece of brisket got in there. That's okay. It's good. I mean, we're gonna go ahead and toss that up. We're losing some, but you gotta practice. You gotta make a mess. You gotta do bad, and this is more fun. We're gonna go ahead and get our trays and get it ready for the smoker. All right, so to get the most flavor onto and into this cauliflower, I've got these 2 trays so we can spread it out and get the cauliflower evenly distributed in a single layer. So that way, every piece of cauliflower is getting the heat, it's getting smoke, and tons of flavor added to it. So we're just gonna marry these 2 wonderful bits together. You can do one big tray, you can do 2 small trays, use what you got. But just kind of pat it out, get a nice even layer. I'll pat a little bit over here, just kind of even out. This is 1 head of cauliflower using 2 quarter sheet trays. And now that we've got that, it's time for the smoker. Of course, use your smoker. This is the smoker my grandfather built in the 1940s. Absolutely love it for so many reasons. It's an offset smoker, so we got the fire down here and, you know, the chimney down there. So the hottest part is going to be right here at the front near the fire. Of course, we're not putting briskets there ever, but this cauliflower is perfect for that, because we want this to cook at about 450 degrees for about 10 minutes. So that way it gets a nice, you know, roasted, charred layer on the outside, but still all that post-oak smoke is gonna infuse, attach to that oil, attach to that cauliflower and infuse itself in there about 10, 15 minutes. It's really up to you on how roasty you like it. I like it to be, you know, have a lot of brown on it. We're not burning it, but we're browning it. And so as close to your fire as you possibly can. You know, you can start it here, get some great smoke flavor on it, and then finish in the oven, or vice versa. But if you got a great smoker, you know, just roll with that the whole way. So we're gonna close this up, let it cook, and we're gonna work on the dressing that's gonna go on it. Here's what makes this dish truly unique. It's more than just roasted cauliflower. It's this special dressing we came up with. So it starts with Greek yogurt, about a half a cup. If you like it more creamy, put a little bit more. If you're not sure, do a little bit less, but I like to do about half a cup. The curry and curried cauliflower comes from curry powder. If you're not buying your spices in bulk from your grocery store, if your grocery store offers to buy your spices in bulk, do it. You're gonna save yourself a ton of money. Everything's gonna be a lot more fresh. And so curry powder is gonna be about 2 teaspoons. And so I like to just, you know, I've been doing a lot of cooking. I like to just kind of cover it up like that, cover that yogurt like that. Part of the inspiration of this dish actually came from curry and cauliflower, just because I like the way that curried cauliflower sounded. So that's really where this recipe began, and then it kind of built out from there. So next we have smoked paprika. This takes just a little bit too much. It's going to turn your dressing red and pink, but the smoked sweet paprika is my favorite because it gives even more smoky flavor than what you're getting from the smoker. Every dish benefits from just a little bit of salt and pepper, not too much. So dry rub, table salt. And now we're moving to the honey. So this adds texture with the, you know, great mouthfeel, but then also just a touch of sweetness. You don't want it super sweet, but just a little bit of sweetness. The salty, the sweet, you know, sweet and savory, it all mixes together and tastes awesome. And then now we do some lemon juice, because we've got to have some brightness in there, some acid. And the best way to do that is with some lemon. And so cut the lemon in half and just pick out the seeds I can see real easy with the point of my knife. But I'm not going to get them all because I want to go crazy with that. And if you have a nice juicer that separates them, great. But, you know, in a pinch, I just kind of let the juice go through my fingertips and let the seeds catch into my fingers. We're born with a strainer, so I might as well use it. So half a lemon is about all you need on here. It's about 2 tablespoons. So next we move on to the chives. So this is what creates some more interest of flavor, some contrast, not just contrast, but some earthiness, more savoriness, and just some freshness as well, because we're going to have that, you know, the beef tallow cooked cauliflower. Once this is all said and done and chopped down to smaller pieces, about a tablespoon. So critique my cutting technique in the comments below. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I slice brisket for a living, not chop chives. So this is all going to get mixed in. Doesn't need to be perfect. We're not being graded by any French chefs or anything like that. We'll go ahead and mix that in. So we got all that flavor in there, the paprika, the curry. Let's go ahead and whip that together. And this is what makes our dish truly unique. And at your next summer barbecue, your party, your potluck, the flavors in here combined with the smoke and the beef tallow and everything like that, this is what's going to make people think, how in the world did you come up with this? And the last kind of textural element we're going to add to this is 1 whole Granny Smith apple. I like to use Granny Smith apples because they are, you know, very tart, very crisp. They're going to hold up to the beefiness, the savoriness, the earthiness of the cauliflower and everything else we've added into that dressing. And they're also not too sweet. They still have more of a tart flavor. And so we added sweetness with the honey. And we don't want this to be a sweet dish. We just want it to have a lot of pops of flavor and different contrasting things. All right, we're going to get these apples added to the dressing. Toss those together. And while the cauliflower finishes cooking and cooling, because we want it to be nice and cool, we're going to put this in the refrigerator as well. And when it's time to combine them, everything's nice and cold. It'll be a nice, fresh, refreshing summer barbecue side. I'm just as hungry as you guys. And so we took these off the smoker and we blast them in the freezer just to cool them down. They're not frozen, but just because we're in a hurry, because I'm ready to eat some of this. And if you look at this, it's got the perfect roast on a lot of these. Some are more than others, just little bitty bits, you know, pretty roasted. They're nice and crunchy, that's what we want. But then with the bigger florets, got perfect, you know, little spotty kind of browning, everything like that. I think this one is going to me. So they're not hot, they're chilled down. We got our dressing with our apples chilled as well. So we're just gonna scrape all this into there. We're almost ready to enjoy. So we're just gonna mix it, enjoy it. You know, if you let this sit, you know, for a few hours, or 24 hours if you have time, you know, the flavor's just gonna get more rich and meld together even better. But right away, this is gonna be ready to eat and enjoy as well. So give it a nice stir. And if you like a little extra kick, I like a little kick. You know, of course, a little bit of Black's barbecue habanero pepper sauce. You know, however much you like. Just, maybe a teaspoon or so.
Where can we get the hot sauce?
WhitesBBQ.com, baby. We ship nationwide. All right, so we got that nice and mixed up. I'm gonna go ahead and dive in here with my fork. You get a little bit of apple. Let's see, where's that perfect floret? Where'd you go? Get some more florets on there. Come back here. Just the right amount of yogurt on there. It's creamy. You got the roasty bits on there. Cheers, you guys. Cheers to a summer full of flavor and a new cold side, a little bit of kick. That's tasty. So if you learned something today, let us know by comment below, subscribing. We want to get to know you. And what other sides are we not doing? What have you invented for your perfect summer barbecue? What does your family love? This is a new favorite in ours. I hope you enjoy it. Love you guys.